Balfour Manuel, is the managing director of Blue Dart, joins us right now on the show. Mr. Manuel, good having you. Thanks so much for taking the time out. At the outset, before I get into the business prospects, etc., I'm just inclined to ask this because I've been wondering, with the quantum of ordering that me and all the younger folk out here at NDTV Profit do and around me do, I would suspect that logistics as a business has had a fabulous last 3, 4, 5 years post-COVID particularly, and is on the gun for having a fabulous decade. Would that be a very simplistic assumption, or at times thinking about things simply gives the right answer?
I think you are absolutely on the dot on your assumption. Given the fact that I'm on a silent period board meetings just ahead, I would kind of agree with you that the post-COVID, it's been a great journey. Blue Dart continues to grow over the COVID volumes as well. So it's been a great journey, and like Neeraj, you simply put, it's good days for logistics, and I think the journey ahead is even better with the government initiatives, the multiple initiatives that the government is bringing to make logistics, bring down costs, overall costs. So that would be a right comment.
Mr. Manuel, good morning. Tamanna here. I suppose the logistics question now is who can do it faster and who can do it quicker. And we'll come to that, because if anything can happen in 15 minutes, then surely no one wants to wait too long. But let me come to the reason why we're having this conversation today, which is your tie-up with the Delhi Metro. Tell us a bit about that with DMRC. What is Blue Dart doing with DMRC, and what are the contours of this understanding?
So this is a culmination of about 8 to 9 months of very focused effort behind trials, evolving trials after trials, and kind of making sure that this actually contributes to a cleaner, better, faster way of transporting goods. And I must commend DMRC repeatedly on their visionary approach to the whole groundbreaking kind of an effort to make sure that things connect seamlessly to the city. It's also the collaboration that aligns with Blue Dart's vision of contributing to the city's clean air challenges. So it's kind of a very, very virtuous thing that we have got into. We're really delighted. But once again, I think Delhi Metro has been a source of inspiration for us, because they have gone out of the way to collaborate with us, provide us all kinds of equipments, ways to deal with it, because it's about carrying tons and tons of cargo into the city seamlessly and making sure that it gets there faster, cleaner, and also contributes ultimately to the last mile to our consumers.
Operationally, how would this work? And is it revenue accretive in any case? Does it cut costs? Give us a sense of this as well. Is this a new trend that you will try and adopt everywhere? What is the business rationale for this, Mr. Manuel?
So obviously the business rationale is to have a low emission kind of transport. We have hundreds, maybe 600, 700 vehicles moving in this vicinity. And if you can bring the carbon footprint down, low emission kind of. So it's a commitment to our, DHLR principles are committed to, zero carbon footprint by about 2050. We are part of the UN pledge. Blue Dart has taken the UN pledge in terms of a climate neutral, logistics by 2050. So we are just moving, but it's in the larger part of the game for Blue Dart. By the end of this year, Tamanna, we don't want any diesel or any other vehicles entering the Delhi city. And that's
let me ask you that question again.
Yes.
Mr. Manuel, and that's a very noble thought. Environmentally, and especially for the national capital, this is what is needed, right? But from a business perspective, yes, it protects the environment. What is it doing for your costs? Is it making a difference, or is this just, you know, one of the many or very new strategies which is being taken forward?
It is a groundbreaking way of carrying goods from, particularly from the airport into the city. And I know of another city in the world, that is Madrid, and I think DMRC is also looking at that model. So we are an industry of speed, Tamanna. So speed comes ahead of everything. We are willing to put cost behind the speed. So this will enable us faster, quicker, cleaner movement into the metro city. On the cost perspective, it'll take us some time, but over a period of time, I think it'll be a cost-effective measure as well. I'm pretty sure about that. But then we need to start the full commercial operations. Right now, we have been on the trial mode, and we see a lot of gains out there in terms of time. So time is also cost for us, Tamanna. Time is the most costly thing for us because we need to deliver goods, having carried it all the way through the night in our aviation network, then we want to get into the city faster. As far as the cost question, again, over a period of time, I'm pretty sure this will be a more cost-effective method of transportation.
Mr. Manuel, hi, Alex joining in as well. I take your point. And time, of course, is extremely important when you're delivering anything, right? So, but I'm trying to understand the implication of something like this once it comes into play in the manner that you envisioned it. Obviously, you have several goods that are coming in through your aviation channels, as you pointed out. But I'm trying to understand from the perspective of the overall volume that you handle, how much is likely to go through this kind of a route? And when you say that there is an improvement in the time, have you measured that?
Yes, we have. Last 8-9 months, we have been using the network in and out, very large tonnage. So just to give you an indication, we could get some only by air over 150 tons into this location and in the NCR region by our own fleet. Maybe we will even operate this for commercial airlines arriving. For Blue Dart cargo, we could arrive this same methodology. Having said that, yes, it is a game changer. Yes, it is substantial tonnage I just mentioned. Not everything will go into the metro, but over a period of time, multiple use of the metro trains. This is a section of the metro train given to us without any passenger intervention there. So what it makes, it's a sustainable line haul. And I can use the entire space. We have the capacity. We have very large cargo moving into Delhi city. So it's a very viable operation, if I've answered your question. And we've seen it for the last 8-9 months. So it's not a flash in the pan. Yeah.
Let me clarify, because I want to make sure that I understood the tonnage absolutely right. So you're saying you're handling 150 tons of goods that are coming through your aviation channel, and is that all going to go through this metro line?
No. Part of that, I just gave you an indication of what kind of tonnage we carry into the city in our own fleet of aircrafts. There is commercial airlines also.
Right.
There's spillover from other cities. They come through non-Blue Dart aircrafts. So I gave you an indication of the tonnage that we carry into the city. A part of that will move into the metro. So currently, this is a 2-stop kind of a thing. I wanted a 1-stop, but Metro is willing to give us 2-stop, 3-stop, 4-stop. That's why I'm delighted. They are willing to give us accessibility to several metro stations. But right now we tried 2-stop, and I prefer 1-stop to the city so that we can be fast into the city. But it is a substantial tonnage. Currently, it is not the 150 tons, but we have a large chunk, almost 70% of that moving into the city.
Oh, so 70% of the 150 tons is going to move through this metro line, is where it stands, and you would anticipate that so also to understand the capacity, right, Mr. Manuel, you're saying that there is more capacity available to you. So are you also saying, therefore, that more than 70% will move eventually, and how soon will that come through?
So, Alex, it is an evolving evolving curve for us. I'm not saying 70% will move. It's a Delhi NCR. Wherever the metro can take us, we will carry. So a substantial part of that, given that at that moment of time, this line haul helps us to meet the customer. So it will move. Not necessarily 70%. I mentioned that kind of percentage moving into Delhi Metro. Over a period of time, wherever the metro takes us, and then we can go to micro parcel hubs close by so that we can reach the customer fast. That is the model that we're working at. I hope that clarifies.
It does. Thank you so much, Mr. Manuel.
Okay, Mr. Manuel, I know you mentioned that you are in the silent period. This is Neeraj here. I know you mentioned you're in a silent period in the opening remark to me, but I have a curiosity which I'm sure you can kind of douse, if you will. I believe movement is the first lead indicator of what's happening with the economy. We've seen a 6.2% mark in Q3. The high frequency indicators indicated some upticks in Jan to manufacturing as well. I'm just trying to understand, without getting into numbers, sir, but has Q4, by and large, we are almost at the end, has Q4 looked promising, or is the recovery still in a nascent stage, according to you, for your business or by and large?
Or look promising. We are well above the GDP, if you want to ask me, well above the GDP. So we are quite cautiously optimistic that this year, second half will be even, moving in the right direction. So Q4 has been good in terms of volumes you heard earlier. But once again, I'd like to be very conservative in my conversation because my meetings are just around the corner next 2 days. So I'd like to be, results will be out, and I'd like to be a little conservative. But yes, for the market, I think it's there is a growth trajectory there. And if that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. And I can understand, because you're in the silent period, you wouldn't want to dwell too much on this as well, which means, Mr. Manuel, we need to have one more conversation once your official numbers are out to just get a sense of how Q4 was or how FY26 could be as well. But if I may...
For us...
Sorry, yeah, please.
Sorry, for us, Neeraj, we are also in a very high investment period. Putting in new aircrafts into play, big ones, Boeing's into play. So we put new aircrafts into play. So we have also expanded on the ground. Recently, we have opened some very, very large facilities, green facilities in the north itself. So it's also a very high investment. But obviously for me, investment is growth. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I'm presuming, Mr. Manuel, that growth. So, last question, really. If everything looked so good, yesterday or day before, we were just a bit intrigued by the advanced tax numbers for Q4 from corporate India, which had hardly any growth YOY. So we're wondering as to why is it? Is it an indication that Q4 is really soft, or is there some other metric to it? But I do hear you say that, as per your experience and for your business and otherwise, because you are kind of a lead indicator of what's happening to the economy, Q4 is not all that bad.
Not at all.
Which is
not at all. We are Blue Dart plays in all these segments. So for us, it is we play in air, ground, e-commerce, international. We play across the so we get to see a mixture of growth out there. If any specific segment of the industry is down, yes, there could be a couple of industries who have not moved in the right direction. But for us, it is it's always a collective look at the volumes that we generate.
Yeah, most certainly, and which is why I wanted the big picture from you, sir. But I appreciate this has been a lovely conversation in more ways than one. Mr. Manuel, thank you so much for taking the time out. But I look forward to having a conversation with you. We look forward to have you on air post your quarterly numbers as well, sir.
Thank you for having me, Neeraj, Tamanna, and Alex. Thank you very much.
Yep.